Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you may be. This is the overnight. I am DM Foss, and tonight we've got G Webs. How you doing?
I'm unmuted. Good. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, no problem. And Baron, how's it going, Baron?
Prepare to fight.
And I no guarantees on how long we're gonna go tonight because it kind of depends on how long my voice lasts.
Yeah, I hear you're under the weather.
Yeah.
Did the virus factory bring another one home?
Yep. But just a mild cold, so nothing too bad. But let's see who was out there tonight so far. You were out there, and you are in here, and so the same for gun websites. Krabby Turtle, just swinging by to say hi. Same with Mike McClune. He's tuckered out, has to go to bed. G23 is maybe out there. I don't know. And CNT Designs and Arms. Midget with carrot cake. And carrot cake is a cake. Luke Wee. Gunmetal Guy USA. And Ken Thompson. So good evening. Holy gun-toting pacifist is out there too. So pacifist, if you want to jump in, there's a link in the, I was going to say Discord. It's in the Gilded. In the Gilded. Same for you, G23, if you're still awake. Tonight's topic, excuse me, was Baron was kind of suggesting topics like always, and I'll let you in on a little behind the scenes secret. Most of the topics come from Baron because I can't think of anything. So-
Most of mine get turned down also.
But he said, how did you put it?
Constitutional rights. Who do they apply to?
Yeah. And you said all humans.
Yep. People, specifically.
And I said, I disagree with that. Just on the, I believe it's for the U.S. Constitution applies to U.S. citizens, and to a limited degree, resident aliens, people with green cards. I think they should get probably most of the constitutional rights, but not all. And so I thought that was interesting. Why, how, who do you think that? And we'll start with justify yourself. No,
Justify myself. Should we do the list first and the banner?
Holy crap. Thank you. So let me get the right one going. At the bottom of the screen, there's an email address and a link that'll get you somewhere. And you can send in suggestions, pictures of whatever within reason to show on the chat. Anything that if you have a comment or whatnot. And in the description, there's a link to the Gilded server. Place to hang out, chit chat, share pictures, memes, whatnot. And you can always get a hold of me there. And I think that's everything. That's most of it.
Leave a comment.
Yes. Oh, if you want
unsubscribe, give us a thumbs down.
If you watch this in replay, leave a comment. I always read the comments. Anything that we talk about. If you agree, disagree, something you think we left out. It's always good to hear from people that watch, and I do appreciate those who watch this in replay.
And if you leave a comment in French, you'll get a heart.
And there's, I guess, 60%, well, 50, we'll say 50% chance I'll know what it means because I failed 2 years of French. So I had 50% in French. Excuse me. But they're, all right.
Defend myself?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you explain your position?
Okay. The Constitution does not grant you any rights. It protects rights that you already have as a human being on this planet. And specifically, the Bill of Rights does not mention a citizen once. It says the people's right on most of them. So I do not think you have to be a citizen to be protected by the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment. That's my opinion.
Starship Troopers and many of its sequels have a requirement to be a citizen to have rights. I rest my case.
And
I need to
they're super authoritarian.
From what I've heard, the book it has a lot different tone than the movie. Now, I've only seen the movie. I haven't read the book. And
the movie was basically making fun of Nazis.
The movie,
I don't think people got that
because the movie director hated the book. The book was about being an individual and like standing up to socialism and that kind of thing.
And from what I've read, it just kind of depended on what interview with Heinlein on what kind of answer you got about the book.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't mean to sideline it though. So the question is, does the rights of the are protected by the Constitution, do they apply to everybody or just people in the country?
Yeah.
Citizens, yeah. or people?
There's human rights, and then there's constitutionally protected rights of the U.S. citizens. That's what I think.
That's kind of that's where I'm at.
I think human rights probably are like one of those international things, or just like I think what everyone would consider decent.
And
But,
I
you know, when
Oh,
you have
sorry.
to take it from somebody else, that's different. So, the human right to eat and hang out and just chill is great, but somebody else has to work twice as hard. That's a totally different thing.
So if we just pick a specific right out, like First Amendment, does that apply to people that are not citizens?
In the United States, like, so basically, is
Yeah.
that what we're talking about? Like, let's say an illegal is here,
Like-
hanging out, being
Or
like a
someone on
non-citizen
vacation?
or something.
Just anyone inside the state?
Well,
I think once
someone-
you're here on vacation, you sign a bunch of waivers or terms of service or something, don't you? Like, in terms of my visa, I'm not gonna be
it
able to do
depends on the country and what agreements we have with them. But that
Oh.
would be different because if you're here on vacation, then you were basically allowed into the country. Where if you illegally cross into the U.S., you're
You're rogue, right?
illegally here. Yeah.
No one's expecting you to oblige by any rules because you're a pirate. You're just running around doing what you want.
But you have more rights if you enter illegally. If you enter legally and spend $10,000-$15,000 to get your citizenship, you're a sucker, basically.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think you're a sucker, and it's the
I was kind of saying that for
yes, I know that
but
you weren't being serious.
if you do it the right way, you're a good human being. If you do it the wrong way, you get over on everybody, and only your morals are in question.
Because the immigration thing is basically only comes up for election time, and whoever it swaps back and forth on who's supporting stronger borders and who supports lax borders, because each party has been on each side of the on the issue, depending on who's in power. So it's really not something that taken serious, and that was one of the things that Trump, he said he wanted to do, the stronger borders, tried to do, and then just got cock blocked. So he couldn't do anything, and then got criticized for not doing anything, which, and I'm not what I'm not a big Trump supporter. There were things I liked, there were things I didn't like, bump stock ban. But that basically I was just saying that, it's an issue that doesn't get fixed. Because each party uses it in which way they need to use it. Let me say hey to DJ Play Nice and Ting Ting. We're out there. But I think the Constitution was crafted for the U.S., for U.S. citizens. And though anyone who comes and goes through the process, which needs to be streamlined a little better, but goes through the actual steps, then yes, the rights become their rights. And I fully support other countries adopting the same rights that we have. I think everybody should have them. But crossing, I guess the big sticking point would be illegal aliens.
So that's a misdemeanor.
Yes.
We're okay them not having guns if they commit a misdemeanor?
Well, illegal aliens, they shouldn't get shit. They should They should get a free trip back to wherever they came from. Is all they should get.
Okay, we're kind of talking about two different things now.
Yes, I know. I kind of
So the Constitution, the actual text of the Constitution,
yes.
the Bill of Rights, it does not mention citizens once.
I understand.
It mentions the people.
that. Yes.
So I don't know how you get to citizens.
I
Because
understand.
it's protecting a right that we already have as a human on this
Well,
planet.
the Bill of Rights.
Wait,
is-
wait a second. Wait a second. Halt. Everybody halt. Wait a second. Wait
Who-
a second.
Who's echoing?
I want to call a
we
major
go.
foul right now.
Who?
And I want to call it a grave injustice and a humanitarian indignity right now. I don't have a wrench on this channel.
Did you lose it?
I think I did. Must have dropped out of my pocket or something because I don't have one.
Are we sure this is actually him? It could be a Night Strike alt.
What if he's not a citizen?
Yeah, you have no rights here.
Uh,
I had to create a grave injustice with my echoing just to draw attention to my injustice.
to your plight. There you go. I put you in timeout.
How dare you?
I understand what you're saying, Baron, and I'm still going to disagree.
Isn't there one of the other amendments? There's like freaking a ton of them, and isn't one of them about the whole you got to be born here to be a citizen and
President.
all that? No, I thought there's one that says like what a citizen is, because we've had waves of like tons of there's been all kinds of waves of whatever that's.
Yeah, those are ones they added on after the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those other ones in there somewhere. When the Bill of Rights was happening, that was back when we haven't even had Manifest Destiny. So they had no idea what renewable resources were. They just saw everything as being given to them by, nature.
Yeah, and I'm trying to go back to the text history and tradition. So going back to the founding of the country, they wouldn't do a 4473 and say, check this box if you didn't come here illegally.
Well, here's the deal. If you get rid of the 4473s and all that nonsense about like somehow because the government or the state or whatever level has knowledge of serial numbers at some extent, then somehow crime isn't going to happen or somehow crime's going to be solved more easily. That's not happened ever. And it doesn't look, it's not like they have that right on the cusp or anything. So you get rid of 4473s, then yeah, you would never know if the person buying the gun is a citizen or not, because then it's behavior and
Exactly. It's like buying milk at a grocery store.
They look weird or not. But if one of the indicators of if they look weird or not is they can't talk to you in the language of the land, then that might be an indicator. Or they just have really weird customs or whatever. So that would be up to the individual to go, I don't know who this person, they're acting weird. They're doing everything upside down or backwards or whatever. But as far as all the other stuff, like, I don't know. I guess it could be annoying if you got a bunch of people that don't even live here that start yelling in the streets and doing stuff that disrupt everything with rallies and that kind of thing. I don't think we've had that ever. Maybe we have.
Yeah, we've had protests by people that are here legally. That happens.
I guess I was thinking like communists or something coming over during a war or something, but
yeah, I had sat down to do show prep and started looking, I was looking at constitutional stuff and then started designing playing cards. So, but the one thing I would say as to when the Constitution was crafted was I don't know. You know, I'm guessing they didn't really have an immigration process at the time, so anyone who just showed up could be a part because there was
Yep.
plenty of resources, plenty of room, and it didn't matter. But at some point, it starts to matter, and so you can't just let everybody come and be. And that's where I think, you know, you're starting to set limits. You know, you go through this process, you get all, you know, then we recognize this, you know, I hate putting it as you get your constitutional rights because you know, as stated, they are natural with you. You know, when you're born, you have them, and it's not the government giving them to you, but the U.S. as an entity recognizes that they apply to you. I don't know if any of that makes any sense.
That makes absolute sense, brother. But the question is, you know, we have plenty of room in this country, plenty of room for legal immigrants. But as far as the illegal immigration, it's costing the country $41 billion per year to deal with everybody flooding over the country, over the border. You know, it's been like 2 million this year alone. People, and that's just the interactions that have been documented. That's not even mentioning the, you know, additional hundreds of thousands of immigrants that have flooded over the border without any interaction and just have been absorbed into the country. So we do have plenty of room. There's plenty of industry and work, although it's slowing down now. FedEx, which is a bellwether for the industry in this country, is down 21 point whatever percent. Their stock is down that much, which is unprecedented in the history of that company. So it doesn't look good, but we still have room. We can absorb these people through legal immigration. Illegal immigration is a totally separate issue, which is costing the country billions of dollars per year. And it's not being addressed by the current administration, which is a fucking disgrace.
G23, I have read your comments. They're just kind of long.
So should we pivot to immigration policy?
That's kind of the way we're going.
Because that wasn't my intention.
No.
What's G23's? I'm looking at something.
Well, he said, okay, I'll go ahead and just read them. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. It spells out American rights in relation to their government. It guarantees civil rights and liberties to the individual. Like freedom of speech, press, and religion, it sets rules for due process of law and reserves all powers not delegated to the federal government, to the people, or the states. And it specifies the enumerated in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed or denied or disparaged others by others retained by the people. So there. Gun snob's out there. And Gizzard Gary. Uh-oh. We got half the hands.
That's a lot of people being away.
But I guess that's I had not intended this to be an immigration chat, but I think that's the sticking point for me is the immigration issue. And
I can pivot it for you if you want.
Well, but what's the question? If the Constitution applies to everyone or just citizens?
Yes.
then
Yeah.
of course immigration's an issue, because who else would be here besides citizens, except for somebody who came here illegally?
Visitors.
I think everybody has a God-given right as a human being, but the question is, should we be securing our borders to like a much more efficient level than we are now to not let these people get in over the border? I mean, you don't have a country if you don't have a border. Yes, if you get over the border legally, under the current administration, they're letting people flow over the border, 2 million plus this year alone. Yes, those people who have been let in, they are human beings. They have constitutional rights given by God and protected by the Constitution of this country. But the question is, should we allow these people to be let over the border so freely? And the answer, in my opinion, is no.
So do they have any rights?
It's not a question about their rights. They have rights. Yes, they're human beings. They have God-given rights when they're born. But do they have the right to come over our border? And should we secure our border more efficiently? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, we should, because it's a drain on the country to let these people just flow in.
I think for that case, I would say the yes, they have. I think they have some rights just because as a people you have compassion, some compassion. So you're not. I don't think you hunt them down and beat them or things like that, but you help them to go back to their country of origin.
So how do we pick which ones are protected and which ones aren't?
I don't think it's a question of which ones are protected or not. I think everybody has the same protection, but it's a question of whether we should let them migrate across our border or not.
Well, they're already here.
Everybody has, yes, the ones that are already here, yes, they have the same protections as every other citizen of the United States or whatever. But then you have to take into question, have they broken the law? And yes, they absolutely have broken the law. And what should be addressed as far as that goes, and whether they should be deported or not, because they have broken the law. They entered the country illegally. I mean, what differentiates them from somebody who snatches a purse on the sidewalk of any given city, except for California and fucking New York, where they just let them walk? They have committed a crime and they should be dealt with accordingly.
Who's the victim?
From them crossing over, every single one of us are the victims, because we're paying taxes and they're draining the entire system to the tune of like $41 billion per year.
If we let them pay taxes, wouldn't that help?
Well,
they can't pay taxes because they're illegals.
That's a whole nother issue that has not been addressed yet. That is, that's in the parlay of all the ongoing crap right now. Like, how do we deal with these people? Do we absorb them into our system? Do we have them pay taxes? Like in Massachusetts, they're talking about, it's on the ballot this year to have them get driver's licenses. It's fucking bananas. Like, these people are illegal. They're illegal, and you're not doing anything about it. They have openly broken the law, and that's okay for them. But if you're on the right side and you break the law, if you lie to the FBI, if you commit a little tiny misdemeanor, they're going to send you to jail for 10 years. But if you're an illegal immigrant, you get it, whatever you want. Here's your cards, your money, your free friggin' driver's licenses.
So it sounds like the person that got fucked over was the guy that got 10 years.
Yes, absolutely.
So the problem is we have a authoritarian government.
We have a two-tiered justice system in this country. We have a bifurcated society, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I can't even believe that I'm seeing this at this point in my life. It's depressing. It really is. Sorry to ruin your chat, Foss.
No, you're not. It's not. For the what you were saying, if them paying taxes, would it be all right if they pay taxes? And I still say no, because a given area has limited resources to give, and you can't. So if we define what the U.S. is, this bunch of lands plus some dots over there, this is the U.S. If without controlling your borders, then you don't know who's coming in, and unregulated. And this is just my belief, and I could be wrong. Then everybody wants to be here, and we cannot have everybody here. This system will not work with everybody here.
Well, it works until they get enough immigrants into this country to replace anybody that votes on the right.
Well, I'm not talking about voting. I'm just talking logistics. Even, right now you look at our power grid. Our power grid, California, can't handle what they have. Now add, pick the millions that you want to put there. The infrastructure can't handle it. There, physically, yes, you can fit everybody within the bounds of the U.S., but the services can't handle it. The infrastructure can't handle it. And that's, I don't know, am I going down the wrong road?
I would
don't
argue
know where we're going.
I would argue that California absolutely can handle it. They can absorb all these people, but it's due to the shitty policies that they have against energy, which is the lifeblood of any economy, that is ruining that state. They absolutely have enough energy and can support what they have, plus many, many millions more, but they choose to take a shitty approach to energy, and it's ruining that state.
How much of it is because they don't have like some kind of a thing in place to watch who politicians are funded by or making money off of stock trades and that kind of thing, right? So, they're making these decisions based on who's getting rich, but not necessarily what's the best course.
Yeah, that was something that a couple of weeks ago I mentioned in one of G23's chats. Is look at how many millionaire civil servants we have. That should not be a thing, unless you were a millionaire before you went in. But these are people that make millions after they become senators or representatives.
Right. As a private citizen, if you get caught insider trading, you go to jail for a decade plus. These people do it openly, and there's no repercussions. Not only them, their entire family does it, and they're protected.
Yeah.
New question. Canadian citizen comes across the border legally, and he comes into Washington State. What protections does he have being in this country?
Pretty much like a dignitary. They should be able to do whatever they want.
Should he be allowed to buy a shotgun?
Does he speak French?
Sure.
No, then no. Sorry, go back to Quebec. If they come in legally, yes, I'm fine with them buying a shotgun. If they come in legally, I'm fine with them speaking their mind. The only thing I would say is just no voting, and no running for office.
Any office?
Yeah.
Until you get permanent citizenship.
Yeah.
What
happens when he overstays?
What if it's the Secretary of Hockey?
And you put them in a penalty box.
You put them in the sin box.
Oh. 3 minutes. I was going to make a hockey analogy, but I don't know enough about hockey. I've watched some, but not enough.
Okay, so I think we learned something. You do agree it doesn't just apply to citizens. It also applies to people that are here legally that are non-citizens.
Yes, that's I
Okay,
stated
we agree
that. I stated that at the beginning. Were you not listening to me?
Yeah, because we said those people agreed to follow the laws, basically.
Well, like just crossing the border in your car, not like getting a visa or a green card.
If you have legal right to be here, then yes, you. Most of the rights, I think you enjoy. Again, if you're not a citizen, then no voting, no running for office, and
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've never been a citizen of another country and then visited the U.S. But you just buy a plane ticket and show them your passport, right?
depends on the country. Like Japan, Canada, yeah, but some places you have to get visas, and that might partly be because of their country.
Yeah, it's like CCW. Sometimes it's an issue, and sometimes it's an issue because of the one side or the other. Like it's not always the same issue, and it's not every state's.
I've traveled to many different countries, and the only time I've had to get a visa is if I stayed past 180 days. And when I was going to stay past 180 days, I would just find a local consulate within the U.S. and they would stamp my passport without even pretty much looking at me. They really, it's not as stringent as the U.S. or the U.K. is.
So does that for Barron? So what is your position that no matter what, anyone who exists in the confines of the U.S. for any
Yes.
reason, then all the rights, they enjoy all the constitutional rights?
I wouldn't say all of them because some of them are pretty specific. Like some say you can't run for president unless you're a citizen. So that's
Yeah.
one of them. So that wouldn't apply to them. But like specifically the Bill of Rights that do not mention being a citizen, it's the people's rights. And it was acknowledging I guess a human right that you get just for being born on this planet.
So
All of those.
So unless it's specifically enumerated citizen, then it should apply. That's what you're saying.
Probably. I'd need to read every single amendment before I put my rubber stamp on that statement. There might be one I might not agree with, but yeah.
So you're
Basically.
saying that you want the 19th Amendment repealed. That's what I'm hearing.
Isn't that the right for women to vote?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
I think that every human being, no matter what your borders are, have the same God-given rights. The Constitution in this country just guarantees them. So if you're in this country illegally, you still have the same right as everybody else. The question is whether you have broken the law or not. And yes, you have broken the law by crossing the border illegally, and you should be dealt with accordingly. Deported, whatever, given asylum because of your grievances against whatever country you came from. And if you cross a border between this country and the country you came from, then you should get asylum in that country, not this country. And that is not enforced, which is an absolute effing shame because you have all these people coming from Central America that are crossing multiple borders. Like asylum is addressed at the first border that you cross per law. You can't cross multiple borders because at that point you're country shopping. So
Well,
if you
that
once
was
you
one.
cross the first border, you should file for asylum if you want to escape whatever you're trying to escape from the country of your origin. You know, and you can't cross 5 borders and get to the U.S. and say I'm seeking asylum because
Is
you've
there no
already
exception for that?
borders.
There was that was something that Trump, when he was in office, that he worked out, so that there were asylum countries. You know, the ones that got crossed agreed to take them, as you know it should have been.
If we
And
if we
now,
put economic sanctions on Mexico and said you have to enforce the border from Central America and whatever, you know, Mexican citizens, if they want to, you know, press the border to the U.S., that's fine. You have a one border cross right there. But if you're coming from a different country and people fly from all over the world to get into Mexico and then cross the border into the U.S., if you pressure Mexico and threaten them economically, it would be over tomorrow. But they won't do it. This administration won't do it.
well, it's not just this administration. There's been lots of
I
administrations
know
that,
it's
because of the cheap labor.
politics is disgusting.
And I know it sounds like I'm a big MAGA person because I'm bringing up Trump so many times, but it's, you know, it's one of the good things that he did was to work out the.
I'm not sure where he is speaking of.
That's what I'm kind of looking up now.
Like the beginning of the Bill of Rights would be the First Amendment. Am I wrong? Like, does he mean the Constitution?
Oops. I'm looking at the Texas Constitution. That's the wrong one.
While you're looking that up, I do have a question. So, I guess the sticking point is whether they should be deported when they are discovered, right? How
Yes.
should they be discovered? Like, are we checking people's immigration status at every store? What are we doing here?
Look at Martha's Vineyard. They deported those people within 48 hours, and they deployed the military. Why should that be any different than any portion of than any part of our country?
Well, like
Why
if I
can't-
go to the grocery store and there's National Guard there checking my citizenship, I'm not a fan of that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Once they were discovered, 50 people, and that's a very small minority. You have thousands of people flooding into these border towns. So 50 people warranted the activation of the National Guard in Martha's Vineyard. They're not standing at grocery stores checking IDs or whatever, but they were activated because they discovered that there was 50 people that flew in on a plane sent from Florida. So what differentiates that from any border town down in the south in Texas, Arizona, blah blah blah? Why can't they activate the military to deport these people? It's not a police state. These people broke the law. So why does
Shouldn't you use the police,
Martha's
not the
Vineyard
military?
do it? Exactly. Why did Martha's Vineyard activate the military to get these people off their island?
I don't know.
Well, you can
They're
activate
tyrannical
the,
assholes.
You can activate the National Guard, but not the U.S. Army. So they're not supposed to operate in the U.S. in that capacity. I keep looking up the wrong constitutions. I was reading the Constitution of India.
Where's your pocket one?
Does that guarantee,
They're upstairs.
does that guarantee brown curry?
So let me. D23 dropped a link. Let me go look at that link. So keep talking because it's going to be boring if everybody's going to watch me read.
What type of a
Order.
shotgun should a French guy buy when he comes from Canada? First purchase.
What is his, what are his, I can't even speak right now. What do his funds look like? What is he looking to spend?
Unlimited.
Oh, you should definitely get a Benelli M4 or a 1301 Beretta.
That's the like reduced quality version of the Benelli, right? The Beretta.
No, the Beretta is a totally different animal. It's just
it
as
is.
good. It's just as good as the Benelli M4, but it doesn't have the capacity in the tube, so you have to buy aftermarket extensions for it. Unless you buy the tactical version, so you can get 7+1, I believe it is. But it's just as good as the Benelli, but it's much cheaper. You can get a 1301 for maybe 1,1300. Tactical. If you get the tactical version, if you find it in that configuration with the pistol grip, it's about 1,400. And the Benelli is probably 600 to 1,000 more.
Should they buy birdshot for self-defense?
If you buy that shotgun, you can buy whatever the fuck you want for shells. It'll feed everything. I would recommend the 4 buckshot, not 4 birdshot, 4 buckshot for home defense.
Yeah, I was just being a jackass when I said that.
So I'm not sure where because it mentions the people.
Yeah, in the first 10 amendments, it mentions the people 9 times.
Yeah, because there is the yeah. Because
The Constitution does mention citizens. Specifically for like running for office for the president and that type of thing.
Doesn't mention angry citizens.
Not that I remember.
is other than maybe a change in language. So when they say the people in that era, did that mean the citizens, or did
But
it just mean everybody?
They use citizen in the Constitution that they wrote at the same time they wrote the Bill of Rights. And they specifically did not use it.
Well, that's yeah.
And historically, they used this to deny rights to people that they didn't consider citizens, like Native Americans, for example. They weren't allowed to buy guns.
And that's which state was using that as reasoning, as historical?
New York.
New York, yeah.
Well, it goes all the way back to Martin Luther King. They denied him for a gun permit. That's why the NRA was established, to protect the rights of black gun owners down in the South.
NRA?
NRA was way older than that.
Civil War, end of that.
Yeah, but they came to the aid of black citizens down in the South when they first started getting elected. Like the first Republican candidates down in the South were black candidates. And that's when the KKK was established by the Democratic Party to push these people down. And their gun rights were being denied, and the NRA swooped in and started defending these people's right to own firearms.
Is that when the Miller happened?
I'm not sure exactly when Miller happened.
Miller was the 30s, right?
Like
Like
32,
38.
38.
Something comes to mind, but it might be wrong. But something, 30 something.
Yeah, it sounds about the right time that all that stuff was going down.
Uh, 39 was Miller. Yeah. So I will
I have an
say
idea for a poll.
Yes.
Poll for the YouTube audience. Question is, someone walks into a gun store. Should they check that person's citizenship before they sell them a gun? I'm curious what they will say.
Hang on, I'm typing. Just so should citizenship be checked for gun purchase?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? So the poll's up. Vote now, vote often.
Night Strike only vote once.
He's not here.
How do we know? He could be one of them. Are we sure Ken Thompson is really Ken Thompson? I don't know.
Do you think Night Strike would say a Maverick 88 is the best shotgun ever? I don't.
See, he's being crafty.
Great shotgun.
It is. I do not have a lot of shotgun experience, but I really like my Maverick 88 security.
So
But
have you handled any other Mossbergs besides the Maverick 88?
I've only touched 3 shotguns in my life. 2 over and unders that a friend's dad had, and then mine. And mine is the only one that I've ever shot.
I've always been a Remington 870 guy because that's the shotgun that I've owned. And I've shot many Mossbergs from friends of mine. And it just seems like the Mossberg, even though I'm a diehard 870 guy, it just seems like the Mossberg is easier to rack.
Oh, those were the 2 that I was debating between 500 or the 870, and then the Security 88 popped up at Sportsman's Warehouse for an incredible deal, and I got the last one.
In answer to G23's question, they do a NICS check.
Mike McClune is down for the count. So have a good night.
Yeah, I got a full hour before the show started. It was great.
Did I say hello to Gunpowder Beauty? If not,
No, you did not.
I apologize, Gunpowder Beauty. I hope you're having a good evening. Hope the kids are doing well.
Is she buying Aussie steaks?
I will agree with you about the 870 as long as you got an older one. I wouldn't buy one of the recent ones. There's a reason Remington went out of business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that always bugged me. You get a new gun buyer and they're like, oh, I'm going to go get an 870. It's going to be great. And they buy one of the new ones and it's a piece of shit. Man. Or you had like Remington 700s where like one bolt of one lug of the bolt was making contact and the other one wasn't. It's like, holy shit, guys. What are you doing?
Sergeant Joe Smith's out there. Says, hey, are you guys still on? We'll only be going for 54 minutes. So, yes, we are still on.
They haven't kicked us off yet.
No. Here, want to see if I can get us kicked off? I'll grab the gun of the day.
Go grab your AR and a drill.
And the Remington ammo is absolute shit as well.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It's all different seatings within the case that you buy.
Smith & Wesson.
Very nice. Is that the TAC 40? What's it called?
It's the CHP gun. The TSP.
Is that
TSW,
the-
sorry. TSW.
Is that the metal version?
Yep, it's
It's the all metal version of it.
they're cool. They're not great, but I don't know, I like it. It's 90s retro. I like that.
It's coming
Uh,
back, too. I mean, Smith & Wesson just came out with an all-metal M&P.
It did kind of interest me when I heard a metal one. It's like, ooh, hey, I probably won't get one.
Looks
I'm
pretty
just-
sexy. give
Yeah,
it
I don't
that.
know about sexy.
Well, looks better than the Palmer one. Your dog can't eat it.
I'd like to try one, you know. If I ever got the chance, you know, I'd love to shoot one just to see how it is. Yeah, Ozzy says he has a holster. He made a holster for one. For one of these. One of these. We're still on the air.
So we were talking about see, I feel inadequate now. I need to go get one of those.
Oh, G23 after shooting it, he said, "Oh, I think I'll get one."
Speaking of which, I just got a new SETME 308, C308.
Did you?
I did. Money order is sent. It is mine.
Are you sure?
No. But the money order's sent. So
Oh, I don't think I'm going to sell it, and I'm going to keep your money now. So sorry.
I might take issue with that. G23. Have I seen it in person? Define it. The all metal M&P? Yeah, I saw it at the gun store. Shit. Was that yesterday? Losing track of time. Yeah, it was yesterday. Speaking of which, totally off topic, but my local is charging $50 per serial number on transfers
That's just crazy.
on everything. So you buy an Anderson lower, he's charging you $50. Fucking nuts. And I asked him, I was like, so I can buy 10 lowers, ship them to you from the same place. You fill out the form for a half an hour, and I pay you $500. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. See you later. Shit. Not like, hey, if you're going to do that, buy some ammo or... I mean, there's other ways to do business. I don't know what he's thinking. And I'm specifically trying to get a gun that he does not have the ability to get ordered in for me. So it's not like I'm screwing him out of a, like, oh, I've already got it on the wall. No.
Oh,
What's the worst
and
transfer
Gabriel.
fee you guys have run into?
I haven't bought a gun. I don't know. Since I can't even remember last time I bought a gun.
I've
But I
only
was going to say it's probably just because of the amount of hassle that they have to deal with FFLs keeping track of 4473s. I mean,
I've only done 2, and it was the same shop, so it was $25 a piece. 2 different times.
Yeah, this same guy, it used to be $25 per trip in. $25. Now it's 50 per serial number.
So there must have been something that changed where he doesn't want to do them.
Yeah, Washington sucks, and he
Yeah.
doesn't get any business anymore. I don't know.
Well, people that are doing transfers are typically buying everything online, so they're not coming in and like emptying their pockets, buying all of his ammo and stuff that he's making. Maybe if he's lucky, 20 to 30% on, and they all come in and give them transfers. You know what I mean? You don't want to incentivize that. You want to do it for people when you can, but except for home FFLs, I don't know too many shops that are, begging people to come in just to do their paperwork.
Everybody
Yeah,
in
that-
my area has raised it to $40, except for one guy. One guy still has it at 20. There was a guy in my town that had it at 17, but he went out of business. He went to work for the cable company.
He's a cable guy now.
He's a cable guy. He was a really good gunsmith too. I really miss his shop.
Yeah, and it's one background check when they call it in. I don't get it. Like, I'd be cool if he was like, hey, if you're going to transfer a gun in, I want you to buy something while you're here. I'd be fine with that.
Every
It's
time
all
we
that
go
many
into
more
a
books
shop,
to deal with. They got to deal with that bound book every moment, every time they come in and do audits. They got to deal with that bound book for that's their livelihood. So I could see if that thing starts getting scrutinized, that they're gonna start or be less inclined to, interact with that bound book.
everybody's so pro Second Amendment and 3% and blah blah blah, but they'll haggle over the price of a transfer, and they go into these people's shop and they don't even buy a box of effing ammo while they're there. If you go into a shop, every time you step foot into a shop, you should buy something.
I try to. I can't say that I always do. I've even, just bought stickers. Some of with their logo on it, just so I could buy something.
Yeah, there's one shop by me that has great patches and stickers. Every time I'm in there, I buy everything that they have new, pretty much, and at least a box of ammo, if not a few.
G23 says $10 for the 4473. Doesn't matter if it's 1 or 100 transfers.
Man, you are lucky.
You just
Well,
need to
yeah.
drive over there.
But he lives in some fairyland where, there's always ammo. Everything's
Narnia.
cheap.
Dude, start doing the math. Next time you got to buy 10 guns. Do the math. How long it's going to take to drive there? What's the gas?
Oh, you got a good point. I can probably buy receivers out of state, can't I?
What
You
city
can't buy
are
a
you
handgun out of state.
Well, you can. You just have to have it transferred.
Yeah,
So
but
you
then I'd have to pay 2 transfer fees.
No, I
But
do.
one of
You?
them would be out of state, and you get to go drive over to do that one.
Well, if I shipped it to G23's place, I'd pay the transfer fee there, and then I'd have to ship it to my guy in Washington, and then pay the
Oh,
$50
yeah,
per
yeah.
gun again.
Yeah, but the one is only $10, so it's a pretty good deal.
Or you just ship it to the one
Plus gas.
in Oregon,
yeah.
and then take your grinder and never mind.
Sandwich? A hoagie sandwich?
Yeah.
What you're telling me is I need to move to Oregon for a few months.
Well, if it's a lower, it's not serialized, right?
Yeah,
They are lower. Yeah. it
Yeah,
is.
it's serialized.
And 80%
They
lower
are-
serialized?
No, just a regular AR lower. You're getting 80% in there.
Oh, just a regular. Okay.
And we're not
Yeah.
talking post lowers.
Let me say hey to Cash EDC.
Oh, snap. Cash.
G23 says it's a 10-hour drive for a panel member. Is he talking about you, Baron?
Oh, yeah, probably. I doubt he's talking about Pacifist or G-Webs.
Yeah, it's probably a little more than 10 hours for pacifist.
Yeah, you can multiply that by 10. I've done it many times. I've done that drive many, many times.
I think it took cost 27 hours to drive to Eugene from here,
When I was driving with a co-driver
or no, Portland.
from the East Coast, from Rhode Island to we used to do a run from Rhode Island to Seattle, which was about 3.5 days.
Seattle's a really nice place to leave.
But we were driving 24 hours a day.
Did you get to Seattle and then be like, yep, okay, we're good?
We'd go to Seattle, and then we would get caught on the opposite end of Meacham Pass when they were blowing the cannons off to trigger the avalanches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Seattle was a shithole.
Yep.
Cash EDC is looking for Romanian AIM 74 magazine pouch and or bayonet. Anybody got one they want to get rid of?
I do not have any.
No, that was one of the bayonets that I never was able to get. They were available for a while. I think they're out there. They're not even expensive right now.
Actually, Meacham Pass was Oregon. Snoqualmie was Seattle. Was Washington.
I used to like to go up on top of them mountains right before they were going to shoot them cannons off to create avalanches, and then snowboard down, drinking a Mountain Dew.
Do the do.
Right on top of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a wave on top of the snow.
So I ended the poll. Should citizenship be checked for gun purchase? 55% said no. 44% said yes. And
I expected it to be close.
with all that I had said
I forgot to vote. I was doing other things.
earlier,
I did not vote either.
I didn't vote, but I can't vote. I'm not a citizen. I would have voted no.
So, do you still get the same rights if you're an angry citizen?
Yeah, they're just louder.
Oh, I think I finally get your joke. Was that about a certain speech that happened a little bit ago?
It may be.
Okay. I get it.
It's funny, like in the East Coast here, I'm sure like many other parts of the country have immigrants. Hopefully legal immigrants, but the jiu-jitsu shops around here, the Brazilian guys, tough as nails, they all have the cauliflower ear and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
The second I bring up guns, they're like, you know, there's many gun ownership in Brazil is pretty common as well, but I'm not sure exactly what the laws are, but they're not familiar with the laws here, and you can pretty much walk into any shop and buy a gun, walk out with it the same day, and they're like mesmerized by that. And you can carry it legally into the grocery store.
Oh, for the Let's Build a Rifle project, I have our optic. I went with a Monstrum 1 to 4 by 20 LPVO.
Very nice.
Here you can see the amber cover.
Did you get a discount code from Chris
I did not.
740?
I did not. I should have, just so maybe he would get something, but I don't like asking other people for favors like that.
We're squandering our YouTube fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get a link so he gets the credit from it.
Well, I ordered it from Amazon, so I should have. Fuck, I should have.
One
Check
more
somebody's-
Bezos cock rocket incoming.
Well, I should have gone through somebody's Amazon store. But
Yeah, what the hell?
yeah, I know. At some point, I'll get it mounted up. After I get the rifle put together, I got to go through, make sure I got all the parts I need. I know I ordered a gas block, an Aero Precision gas block, but I don't think I have the roll pin for the gas block. I got to see if I have one or not.
For
But
doing the gas tube.
yeah. Excuse me. I think that's
They're pretty tiny.
You can just put a toothpick in there. It's okay.
But
Or a cotter pen, like a tiny little cotter pen.
I think other than that, I have everything else. But like, I got to lay everything out, see what I have exactly, and make sure.
I'm waiting on my optic and my brace.
And I'm trying to figure out doing an assembly video where it's shows enough stuff where it's interesting, but not too much stuff where YouTube pulls it.
So are you doing a full rifle, Foss, 16-inch plus?
Well, it's a carbine length rifle, so 16-inch barrel, but
Wait, you
carbine
didn't,
length
you
gas
didn't
system.
say that in French.
Pardonnez-moi.
There's like 9 people that got that joke,
Parlez-vous français?
and 4 of them are on the panel.
So what designates it a carbine? Is it the weight or is it the length of the barrel?
Length of the barrel.
They call it a canon.
Oh, Foss, did you ever tell anyone about that teaser I sent you?
So with the carbine
No.
length, it's going to be a little soft, a little bit more soft of like a recoil.
I think isn't the rifle
The rifle would be
ones are softer.
Oh, absolutely. If you
Comparative.
go 20-inch or plus, rifle is soft. But if you go less
Yeah.
than 20-inch, then you're going to suffer from reliability issues if you go with the rifle length. So
But
the carbine, as opposed to the pistol, is going to be a little bit more soft recoiling with the 16.
it was put up for a vote, so that's what everybody voted
Oh,
for.
I voted.
Speaking of which, I do have an AR with a 16-inch barrel and a rifle-length gas system.
Really?
Yep.
So that must be really soft.
Yeah, it's a Colt 605 clone. So it's basically like it's a rifle-length handguard and gas system, and like right where the front sight ends, basically it's right where the muzzle device starts.
And have you
Pretty
had
cool.
any reliability issues with that?
No, you just drill the gas port out a little bit more.
Just to
That solves everything.
let some more gas get back.
Yeah, and if it like it might not run steel case because that's not very high pressure, but as soon as you break it in, it's 100% reliable. They're pretty cool. So you get the full rifle length sight radius
Yeah, it sounds like it.
with this 16-inch shorter barrel.
I kind of wanted to do a mid-length build,
Those are sweet.
but then when I decided to let everybody vote on stuff, then just going with
Yes, dissipator. Actually, I might have a photo somewhere. I can pull it up.
Hey, can you pull up that photo?
I can try.
I don't see it. Where is it?
I feel like I'm being bullied.
I want to see that photo.
But no, I'm really looking forward to getting the rifle together and then getting it out and shooting it.
So that's 450 Bushmaster you going for?
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, speaking of which, I was going to buy ammo at the shop I was complaining about. I was like, you got a 458 SOCOM ammo? They're like, no, we got 450 Bushmaster. I was like, fuck.
That was
should've
one of
bought
the
you some.
reasons. That was one of the reasons I was gonna, I wanted to do a 450 Bushmaster, but then kind of bounced around between, 458, 50 Beowulf, and went with 450 just because of availability on parts and
Yep.
ammunition.
I do not have a photo. I've deleted them all.
Got rid of the evidence.
No comment.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Did I mention what optic I got?
You did not.
You
I got
mentioned-
the 4x magnification retro carry handle scope from Brownells.
Ooh, nice. That's like the new trend is going the high above the bore access scopes.
Yep.
Where the carry handle used to be.
I told him go with a Starlight scope, but go really retro.
Isn't that thing like 15 pounds?
Yeah.
I'd have the heaviest 10-inch AR ever made.
But it'd be cool.
It would. It'd
That's
be
what
expensive
counts.
too.
My first AR was after the ban got lifted, and I paid $1,200 for an M&P 50
They're asking me to take a new photo.
with the carry
I'll
handle.
go grab one. I'll be right back. Feel free to talk shit.
I have a question about tonight's show topics.
Yes, sir.
Are we going to be talking about the 42 or so episodes of a thing that fairly new, but it's actually from 1978? Trying to be cryptic in case there's some reason we're not.
It's I love it. Yeah. And it's awesome. And nobody knows what we're talking about. Have you watched any of it yet?
Yeah, I'm probably 5 episodes in, maybe. And then I was thinking about maybe bouncing around because I got to read them, and that's the problem. So I don't like what I'll end up doing is looking over there and paying attention. But then I read more about it than watched them. Well, as I was watching, I was reading about them. So like at some point, they're gonna lose the costume for Lepardone or whatever it is. And then they're only going to be able to use stock footage for the rest of the series. So you know how it's like 1, 2, 3 punch, right? I don't want to ruin it for everybody. It's like, the 3 punch is always the deal. Eventually, they just go change and 3 punch, and it's over.
It's so what we're talking about is it's a Japanese Spider-Man TV show from the 70s, late 70s. And it's basically if you took Spider-Man and mixed it with the Power Rangers. It is a kid's show. That's.
Did you watch all of them already?
No, I'm only probably about 6 episodes in. I've been watching 2 or 3 at a time. Two at a time, I think. But that's why it's so. Every episode is kind of the same. And then the hard jump cuts when the bad guys are running down the road and all of a sudden do a backflip and then start running again and then do a backflip. And then...
The edits, you mean? The cuts?
And
stuff
yeah.
Great. And the part where he gets in the spider car, he gets this because Spider-Man has a car in this one, and he flies the car into the back of the robot. And when he does that cut is awesome. They say though that his girlfriend is going to get in the car with him at some point. She's the only other character that ever gets in the car. So at some point, that's spoiler.
Well, he did. Here's let me.
I don't know if I did an RPG 7. I know that Don had some of the RPGs, and I'm pretty sure I filmed them. They'd be old videos. I may need to repost them and stretch them.
So this is the Japanese Spider-Man.
Back in the
And
days when I was just real quick, back in the days when I was playing with RPGs and stuff, they weren't as common as they are now. So no one wanted pictures of them. So we didn't take pictures of them. And so all my experience with RPGs is back from collectors way before video. So I just never had an opportunity. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's just going to show that, the Japanese Spider-Man, he has a giant robot. It's a ship
but
that
it's his origin
transforms.
story. It's a total different origin story. That's all.
Yeah. It is. He gets his powers from a guy from Spider Planet. And
he got from Spider Planet inside the robot, right?
yeah.
Or no. He had a separate spaceship. No.
No,
that was Professor.
How did we get here?
Yeah, Dr. Monster is the bad guy. But yeah, no, he flew on Leopardo, and then when he got stranded, he sent Leopardo back into space
to hang out for 400 years. No big deal. Just like it's really close to the origin story of Spider-Man.
It's awful, but it's the good awful.
No, it's better than awful. It is truly comic books, right? And here's another spoiler. There's going to be a sequel to Spider-Verse, which was definitely the best Spider-Man. There's going to be a sequel to Spider-Verse, and guess who's in it? I read that.
Nicolas Cage.
No, Japanese Spider-Man's going to be in it. He's
Really?
going to be one of the universes in Spider-Verse 2.
Where are you guys watching this crap?
It's on YouTube. It was Marvel licensed it to Japan, and they were like, well, we're going to make it Japan, right? And they did. And then they said that in the 90s, Marvel broadcasted on their internet, on their their website, when they were playing with the internet back in the day. And then now it's on YouTube. You can just go to this one YouTube channel, just type in Japanese
Spider-Man, yeah.
It's literally what it's called. I mean, it's called Spider-Man, but whatever. And it's totally awesome because it's like a alternate universe Spider-Man, literally. Except it's it's still America, it's still Earth.
I liked the Spider-Verse movie, except for Spider-Pig was stupid. But
oh, come on, you don't like Spider-Ham?
No.
Oh man, I liked him when he was a comic. I had a bunch of Spider-Ham comics back in the day. Back when Ninja Turtles came around. I think he was a ripoff of Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
Ooh.
So rifle length, gas system, handguard, buttstock, 16-inch barrel.
Nice. And that's Brownells?
No, I made it. It's all me. Yeah, the upper is Luth AR. Forgot what did his old company used to be called? It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's a Luth AR.
Three-prong flash hider up front there?
Yep. It's not an exact 605 clone. It's my preference of what a 605 would be. It's like the buttstock is A1E, for example, type E stock. So it's an A1 length, but it's basically a A2 design. I like the sling attachment better. But yeah, pretty sweet gun.
Absolutely. Damn, that's nice.
And I think like all in, I was like $600 for that. And this was during COVID. When did I build that, Foss? Like a year ago?
I don't remember.
I think it was last September. But yeah, love that gun. You just have to drill the gas port out.
And then drill another separate hole farther back.
When you can,
like an M1 Garand, look where their gas port is. That gun's still reliable. You just have to drill the gas port to the right size.
When you can drill the gas port from the muzzle, you got something going on.
Obviously, you know what you're doing, Baron. So if you have something like that, somebody's going to look at the face of it and think it's going to be unreliable, but you know what the hell you're doing, and you did what it needs to be done to make that gun reliable, and now it's absolutely reliable, right?
Have you shot it yet?
No,
You haven't even shot it yet.
not that one. I made more than one.
So you have shot other iterations of that gun.
Yes.
So you drill the gas port out, and it's completely reliable.
I didn't drill it out. I bought it that way. You can, when you buy a barrel off a website, they'll tell you what the gas port is usually. Or you're just buying a barrel.
So what profile is that barrel?
That one, I think it's M4. No, it does not have a bayonet lug. There's no bayonet that would fit on it with that short of a barrel.
Well, Luke Wheat just got a 450 Bushmaster.
Nice.
And Gun Websites has a Virgin Hugo parts kit up for auction. Is that at the
Pot of gold. Yep.
Pot of Gold auctions? And a Bulgarian kit in a few weeks. Let me play this while I'm thinking about it.
Disco is dead. Disco is not dead. Disco is life.
So Wednesday nights at 10:30 p.m. Pacific is the Wednesday night mouse party. It's usually a little lighter, nothing too heavy. More of a chat just to have fun, because there's too many uptight people out there.
So if you call somebody uptight and they get upset, they're literally being uptight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to say uptight motherfuckers out there, but kind of toned it down a little bit.
I have sensitive ears. He's just being nice.
Schmaggy's out there. Oh, what else you guys want to talk about? All right.
Talk about laws and stuff, or talk about guns and stuff.
Wasn't there just was it a district court or a circuit court that the judge ruled that if you're under an indictment for a felony, you still have gun rights, you can go buy a gun?
Texas. That was in
Yeah.
Texas. And that
Yeah.
should put something at risk, some people are saying. The
Yeah,
NFA at risk.
That's because indictment isn't a conviction. It just means that you're going to be tried. As they say, you can indict a ham sandwich because it's easy to get an indictment, but that just means you're going to go to trial. It doesn't mean you're convicted or guilty of anything. So you should
So,
still
tying it back to the main topic, they should be able to buy guns until they're convicted, right?
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. And did you look at that other video that I posted today on the Gilded?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember what I posted, so I was hoping you saw it and would remember what I posted.
Where'd you post it?
In the Gilded, in the gun rights section of the Gilded.
Oh, the gun rights. Yes, I did watch that.
What was it about?
Couldn't tell you. Gun-free zones.
Gun-free zones. Yeah.
And ghost guns.
Bye gun-free zones. Supreme Court defines sensitive areas or sensitive
Yeah.
places.
Yeah,
So this
no.
is the four corners thing, or the four boxes diner. You watch that a lot. Is that worth watching?
I've only watched a few things. I was looking for something the other week and found his explanation of it. And I so far, the few videos that I've watched, I like how he does it. But he talks about why gun-free zones will constitutionally should go away. How they're like anti-gun states are trying to expand them. In the New York Rifle and Pistol Association, what everybody calls the Bruin case, in there, I need to go back and then read that decision because I guess the judge addressed that in that decision, or the court addressed that.
Yeah, they did.
So you can't just expand what a gun, sensitive areas are, so that everywhere's sensitive, so you can't exercise your Second Amendment right.
Yeah, I think they specifically said that you couldn't call New York City a sensitive area just because there's enough cops to theoretically protect you.
Yeah,
And-
there is.
Yeah.
In the video, he mentions that the court, there's four areas,
Courthouses,
courthouses,
schools,
but that's just for the students, not the adults.
What about universities where
Polling places.
the student is the adult?
Well,
Because didn't he say University of Virginia?
yeah.
That would have been an adult that they were telling you cannot carry a gun here because you're going to duel each other. And we're going to have dead 19-year-olds on the plaza in front of the university.
And I don't remember what the other one was. But the third
do
one
not
was the polling places and somewhere else.
I can check.
So he was saying that because of the ruling, those are the only places that should be classified as gun-free zones, and they don't have to automatically be gun-free zones. They can choose to be gun-free zones in
Yes.
those areas. So if they didn't want it to be, then they don't have to be. So I'll post-
Courthouse, schools for students. And theoretically, that even applies to college students. And like Foss, if you went to university right now, that would apply to you if they said you can't carry a gun. If I'm listening to this right.
I will post a link for the video that we're talking about, so anybody can check it out.
Legislative houses.
Oh, the Capitol. Yeah, the Capitol buildings. That was the other one. So polling places, Capitol buildings, courthouses, and schools. Those were the four.
Those are the four. You also posted one about privately made guns. What do we call them now? I just call them ghost guns to piss off everyone I possibly can.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Because basically, back when our government was founded, or our country was founded, Smith & Wesson didn't exist. You couldn't just go buy a Smith & Wesson M&P. So it was pretty well understood that bearing and keeping arms meant you could also build your own. It's, yeah. Self-explanatory, right? We don't need to
Yep.
dig into that.
And I think the next couple of years are going to be really interesting for the Second Amendment community. Smeggy's saying the university I went to, we tried to get Carrie there because it was a private school. I think state universities were banned by state.
I think Washington, isn't it like it's up to the university or community college or whatever, but there's not a single one in the state that allows it?
Well, I can tell you for a fact that there are privately owned guns on the campus of Washington State University. That,
For students?
Yep.
There's
We've got two
of them.
pacifists. He's cloning himself.
Which one is Night Strike?
What's the difference between them? There's 6 differences between these two gun-toting pacifists. Can you tell?
I don't know.
One of them has a flower pot. There's a little oar behind one of them. One of them has an eye patch on.
One of them's muted.
Oh, and
Oh.
one of them disappeared. Yeah, I don't think Night Strike's allowed to be up. You're right. Sometimes if he has a soda really late, he'll be up this late.
You still need to pull that short out of that video.
I was going to, but it might be a little harsh. Are you talking about the barbecue one or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do that, but I don't know.
It works. If somebody's out in the chat and you want to call them in, you just call them a bitch.
I don't know. See, I don't recall saying coming to, it's assumed, he
You were
should
up for
know.
like 27 hours though, right?
Yeah. So I know I called him a bitch.
You get a pass.
I just don't know if I explain the whole thing where you need to come into
How
the
did I
chat.
miss that? You called Night Strike a bitch. How did I miss
No,
that?
not Night Strike. Barbecue, guns and barbecue.
Barbecue. Yeah.
Oh, all right. He's a bitch. Yeah.
He had, he did his smiley face with a cowboy hat and a fist, and somebody asked, "What does that mean?" And I said, "That means you're a bitch." And then he jumped in the chat. Night Strike, I said his chat sucks. But I did clip that one. He told me to clip it. So I clipped it. Put it out.
Who told you to clip it?
Night Strike.
And you wait a second. You called him a bitch,
No.
and then you let him tell you what to clip.
No,
I
no,
take full
Night
responsibility for
So
this
that
confusion.
would inadvertently make you the bitch.
No. Night Strike, I told him his show sucks. And he told me to clip that. Barbecue, I called a bitch. I did not clip that one.
We should clip this.
Oh, as I was saying about WSU, yeah, because students, I had a friend that was going there before I ended up moving there. But when he was living on campus, they had a truck box that would either be filled with alcohol or guns when they brought it into their dorm room.
Or both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's any legal penalties for that? I think they just expel you from the school, right?
Probably, yeah.
That would suck. We run this into the ground yet?
I think so.
We got a whole bunch of
Uh,
questions that came in before
Did we? I missed them.
in the chat.
If people want to ask specific questions, you should at me or Foss, so we'll see it highlighted. It'll help it stand out.
Yeah.
If you want to call me a bitch, call me a bitch by name.
Just put at Baron SVG. If you're on a computer, it'll give you the option. It'll pop up where you can just click on it.
Just at Baron SVG Instagram meme bitch.
I'm pretty sure if you just put at Baron, it'll still highlight for me.
We can test that out here. At Baron. All right, I'll just put at Baron.
Nope,
Did that
didn't
highlight
work.
there? No. So at Baron S dot V dot G dot, and I still always want to call you SVD.
The communist tone.
There we go. So just Baron SVD. SVG. God damn it.
And yes, I put the periods in there specifically to fuck with people when they type it.
No, you can't just put at bitch because never mind.
YouTube.
No, I was going to say something else, but I won't say something else. Yeah, I don't know what G23 is talking about.
Like this Pacific is a Yorker. I feel like that's a riddle. Anyone good at riddles?
Yeah, I don't know. So, offhand, do you recall what any of the questions were, G-Webs? Because I'm...
Oh, you're not seeing them? I thought there was some in there. Special permit. I guess maybe some of these are statements. Maybe I just saw people talking to each other or something.
G23 is telling you to clip that. No stones if you don't.
Well, here's the deal. If you want to, if we're missing one, then throw it in there, right?
That's all right.
Pacifist, not Pacific. He misspelled it.
Oh, yeah. Let's say hello to Festering and Effigy, who is pacifist. He's multiplying. You changed the profile pic, didn't you?
Will he even admit?
I don't know. He's gone quiet.
I've been talking into my muted mic for like 2.5 minutes now. So that that image is it's literally burning effigy. So it contradicts my festering and effigy because it's literally burning. But I thought it was a good depiction of the channel. A patriot being burned, an effigy of a patriot being burned, you know. as
So
patriots.
do you think we were ignoring you for the last 2 minutes?
No, I felt
Man,
like
they keep talking over me.
it's like one of those dreams where somebody's like shouting at you and you're like trying to run through the mud and you can't get anywhere type thing. But yeah, it's that channel, the Festering in Effigy is, pretty much, I don't know. I think we all feel like that every day, right? It's they're waiting to destroy us. They're waiting to crush us and to completely defeat us. So we're just an effigy, just festering. And I think I killed the chat.
I'm trying to find Luke's question.
Is the they the communists? They've always been out there trying to get us, so that's not new.
No, it's like American patriots. It's, our own country trying to crush us. It's completely, I don't want to say debilitating. It's just completely frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating. It's like they have these effigies built for us and they're just waiting to burn them. So we're festering as an effigy.
The cycling issues in the 7.62x39 AR platform is probably just the American AR rejecting the 7.62x39 rounds.
They have to do with the way that the rifles are designed. So you can't just say, like any wheel's going to fit on any car or any motorcycle wheel's going to fit on any motorcycle, right? There's a fork, there's like gears and stuff that make a difference. So with 7.62x39, you've got a tapered round and it's steel case for the most part. And it's, designed to do what it's supposed to do in 30 cal. And then you've got in the AR, just a totally different trigonometry and geometry. So basically what's happening with the expansion and the strength of the bolt and the mass of the bolt and everything, you run into issues because, when you've got a big mass and, the way to yank that thing out of there and it's tapered so it's not, doing it, and it's all designed around that. And then you try to adapt that to a different design. You can't change everything, the dwell speed. There's just a lot of stuff that comes into play. So you can make it fit, but making it fit doesn't mean there's enough energy and enough mass at the right time to make it work good. And not everybody, well, at first for sure, nobody was able to really tune those things because where do you start tuning it, right? You can't add mass to a bolt carrier very easy. So, you start maybe shaving mass off a bolt carrier and see what happens. But I mean, I talked to a guy named Tromix who kind of developed the short. When you take a Sega 12 and you drop it down into a crank, that was his sort of experimental thing. And he would talk about, just going through dozens of barrels and guns, trying to, fiddle until you can't fiddle anymore. You start over and you start fiddling again. So I'm guessing, people that were doing it at first were just doing it, and then that's why the Colts and stuff had a bad reputation. But then the other part of it is the magwell of an AR, how it's because of the cases are straight pretty much. They don't curve much, so they can have that magwell, no problem. AKs don't. So when they try to shove the AKs into the straight mag situation going up the magwell, that can cause some weirdness. Just with stacking and rim lock. But, it's also a calculation or a tweak in the weight of the spring and the follower. And if the follower is sliding smoothly versus, dirtied up, you get a couple of things of grit or dirt in a follower and, fine dirt like flour in a follower, just dust from the air can make a follower run grittier and therefore hinder the spring to where it's not pushing the right way. And anyway, so I think there's just so much going against it that I'm surprised the ones that work now. I think it's because people are able to tweak electronically, like, on the 3D software, way more than you could have ever done back in the day, shaving the stuff off and trying to add some back and shaving it off again. And right.
Isn't that amazing what they are capable of these days to make that actually happen?
I bet you like now you can get the math on what's going on in the powder. You give it the powder, you give it the case material, and you give it the barrel length, and I'll bet you it knows the physics, right? So like if you give it the wrong bolt carrier, it's gonna, what's the word, like jam in theoretically jam for you in cyberspace, so that you don't even have to ever make the gun first. You can fix that before you ever even have to
So Cash
Yeah.
EDC sent in a couple picks.
In answer to Luke,
Oops.
we'd need to know what type of feeding issues it's having.
Good point. Yeah, I went through pretty much a shit ton of them.
He's
That was always
saying
one of my favorite ones. That one right there.
it feeds just fine, but it doesn't keep feeding. So is it like failing to eject? Is it failing to pick up a new round? Is it like nosediving? What's going on?
Like the mag isn't pushing up enough to get the next one to cycle in.
Yeah, we need more info.
Is that a dingus?
Yeah.
There's a picture from the other side.
The 545s don't rock as much.
That's a dingus.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest guns though. Super strong.
Set
Stock-
74.
Yeah.
I like the look of the wood.
That's your standard lacquered Romania wood.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick out good points on this communist rod.
Well, it's a nice break up front there. It's extended with the large break up front there, so you're not gonna give away your signature as much.
They would create back pressure also and help too in the thing. They'd shoot better with it on there.
Well,
Okay, Luke
it's-
just gave us some more info. It's not ejecting the spent shell. So you got two options.
Clean
You
the
need to have a
chamber.
lighter buffer spring or buffer, or you need to open your gas port up. Or if you're using steel case, try using brass. But you're obviously shooting 7.62 because you want to be able to shoot cheap steel case. So yeah, try swapping out the buffer. That's my suggestion. I think G23 is a real fan of the dong.
He does. He likes wood.
Have you guys shot those before?
Never.
I have never touched an AK.
Not one with a dong in 5.45.
Very strong, very secure. Like if you're going to put something on the front end as a hand stop or a place up there, then that's like super strong way to do it. Totally abuse it. You can take anything.
I don't know anyone that has a 74 in Washington either. Do you, Foss? I know people have AKs.
I don't personally know. I don't
But
think
not a
I know
74.
anybody with an AK.
AK period?
Well, on YouTube I know people that have AKs. but
Okay.
nobody in my personal life, I do not.
Do you know anyone that has a bubbled out SKS? Those are pretty popular in Washington.
Not a fan, no.
Yeah.
That's the closest to an AK I've been is an SKS.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I get all right. I'm clicking on the wrong thing here. Hold on. G23 says I have Yes, I do know. I have met G23. So I will say I know him in my personal life. But he did not bring any with him.
And he does not live in Washington.
No. Now he can't bring them with him.
Yeah,
What?
that's a good point.
What if
How does
you
that
both
work?
met up? What if you both met up in two boats? One boat comes from one state, one boat comes from the other state. You go somewhere in the ocean. He holds the rifle by the pistol grip and the front hand card. You stick your finger out and wiggle it, and the gun goes off. Any laws been broken?
You just stick your finger out and he pushes the gun into it.
Let's say the waves rock the thing around, right? You can't be
Yeah.
responsible for that. You're just sticking your finger out. He's just holding the gun out in the air.
It's a hair trigger. What can you do?
That's a lot of work.
Coast Guard comes in. How long would that take them?
So there was a time back in the day, back in the early days of YouTube. Wait, I think this was. Anyway, let's just put it this way. There used to be a time when we would talk to people internationally more often. And in New Zealand, they got rules. But if you drive 3 miles away from New Zealand or whatever the miles away was from New Zealand, you do whatever you wanted, I guess. So people in New Zealand could own stuff, but they couldn't do nothing in New Zealand. So they would just go in their boats out in the middle of the ocean and do whatever they were going to do, and then go back to New Zealand. But that's, that's the thing, international waters or whatever.
So for excuse me. One thing to check. Are the 7.62 ARs pretty much just an AR that shoots 7.62? There's no really other difference.
What do you mean?
It depends on
wise.
those. Depends.
What,
The bolt will
price-wise?
be different.
Parts wise.
Oh, parts wise. Yeah, they're going to be different parts inside typically.
Oh.
The bolt will be different.
The
extractor
barrel
will be different.
different.
But
It'll be
does it-
a little
it-
narrower.
It uses a bolt carrier group and the
I mean, if you lay
Yeah.
them down, normal people are going to go, oh, these have the same parts that do the same things. It's just that if you looked at them next to each other, they're going to be like more delicate for the 5.45 than they are for the 7.62. They're just more robust with the 7.62.
look at
but they do the same thing. They are the same number of parts. Yes.
your bolt carrier group. Make sure that your bolt is the proper bolt. I had the same problem with my 300 Blackout because it had a 450 Bushmaster bolt in it.
Oh, you're saying so? Make sure that somebody didn't accidentally put the wrong caliber.
Yeah,
actual
Like you might have
bolt.
a 6.5 Grendel bolt.
yeah.
That I'm
Because
not sure. I've never actually pulled stuff apart to that level and tried to interchange them. I don't know if they're a different size or
and
not.
hopefully it's marked because not all of them are
No, I
marked.
kind of feel like the Russians aren't that bad. I mean, they kind of got to be where they're at by paying attention to stuff like that. So and I would think they'd be making fun of them if they. I think that there's probably a difference in diameter, so you can't put a 74 bolt into a 47 carrier. But I don't want to just assume that. I'm gonna guess that though.
I think he was asking about ARs, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about AKs again.
So
No.
proprietary on that will be mags, bolt, extractor, barrel.
Definitely on the AR, because more than likely
Yeah.
it's got a 223 one in there, right?
Yeah, because that's first time
Well, they didn't-
I shot
they
my
didn't-
300 Blackout, it wouldn't extract. It might, it would extract now and again, but it's something I didn't even look at until I got home and was wiping stuff down, took the bolt out, and looked at it and realized it says 450 Bushmaster on it. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the problem right there.
Didn't Gizzard have that same thing when he bought something at the
Yeah.
gun show and he brought
He
it home
did.
and it was the wrong caliber?
Yep.
So that might be a thing. We feel like we solved stuff.
Yikes. Can you imagine if somebody sold a 5.56 gun as a 300 Blackout to someone? Ugh. Oh, my God.
Well, that wouldn't even load, right?
No, it'll
Like,
load.
that's not
It'll
even-
blow up.
AR go boom.
Yeah.
You can't put a 300 in a 5.56. You're saying a 5.56 in a 300.
No.
No, the other way around.
How can you put a 300 into a 5.56?
Yeah.
300 Blackout is shorter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it will actually chamber, and it will fire,
That
and it
was-
will
that
explode your
wasn't-
gun.
Yeah, that wasn't wise.
And if I remember right, 5.56 won't chamber to 300 blackout
I blame Sammy for this.
because it's got a longer like height to the shoulder. So I mean, it's complete opposite of what you'd expect. The one that would safely fire can't fire, and the one that will explode your gun will fire. It's it's a bit of a problem.
Here's where'd the picture go? I hate when you're looking for pictures. And then there it is. All right, let me share this right here. So that is a 300 blackout in a 5.56 chamber. Let me blow it up. There you go. That's why it fits.
Poor choice of words. You just said, "Let me blow it up." So that's crazy. So there's enough room in the chamber itself that the bullet fits in there, and it thinks from its point of view, it's ready to go. It's like, yeah, I fit. I'm good to go.
Yeah, the bullet is basically sitting on the shoulder of where the 5.56 brass would have fit. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
I don't
Luke
want
said,
that ammo anywhere near me when I'm shooting a 5.56 gun.
Luke said he pulled everything apart. So just take a round or an empty casing and check, make sure it fits snugly on your bolt. Then you know it's good. If it's big, loose, and gappy, then it's wrong. She's been around town once or twice.
I love that. Artificial headspace. I thought one of us was panting really hard.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. He must just really get excited about guns.
Yeah. He saw that AK dong.
Yeah, he thought it was a chew toy.
Wonder, you think you can pull up a picture of what happens when you grenade a 5.56 with a 300?
Well, that's what I was looking for originally, and then just happened to find that. Most of the pictures I'm finding are just where it's lodged in the barrel, and they cut the barrel open, but not exploded.
You got to put in kaboom. If you type kaboom at the end of that, they will come up.
Oh,
Anyone ever been
yeah.
around a kaboom before at a gun range?
I have not. Luckily, have not.
I've had a gun go full auto when a sear broke, and I've had somebody get squib loads, but never kaboom. Yikes. And they get worse than that.
So I was at a range one time, and this guy had a runaway, but it would almost like burst fire. And he was actually like trying to figure out what was wrong with his gun, but he ended up getting kicked off the range because the officer was like, "Hey, no rapid fire." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I'm trying to fix it. Like, I did some stuff. I'm testing it. Obviously, what I did didn't work, so I'm gonna take it back home and like try again." But I don't know. It was just kind of weird. I was kind of like new into guns and hadn't really been to indoor ranges that often. So it was kind of a weird experience. Like the safety officer was like, in my opinion, kind of being a jerk. Like he didn't need to be like as mean as he was being, because the person, like, it's not like the guy was purposely doing it and then like being a jerk about it. Like, "Oh, tell me what to do. I'll do whatever I want." He was like real apologetic and like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix it. I don't know what's wrong. And like, it was crazy. I ended up actually not going to that range that much after that. There was like a couple other times, but that's just with the vibe. They were like, all the people that worked there were just kind of jerks.
There's a little bigger kaboom for you.
Youch.
A lot of 9mm shooters are intolerant, so that guy could have been a 9mm shooter.
The range officer? Probably.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah.
good night, G23.
And I mean, they were also like really, really big. I don't know what the right word is, but they paid attention a lot to how much brass you were picking up. They were like, technically, like you can pick up your own brass, but if it hits this line, then you can't take it, and you can't take from like another. If it's the other person, the other lane, you can't take their brass. And it's like, but I asked them, they said they weren't going to keep it, so I just flipped it over to my side and picked it up. Like, what's the big deal? I'm cleaning your range up. But they had some deal where they like reloaded all their stuff. So
Yep.
to them, like, you know, you were taking money from the range. But I'm like, but if the guy next to me wanted to take it home, he'd be allowed to. He goes, yes. I go, and if I want to take mine home, I'm allowed to. Yes. So why can't I take the guys next to me's home? Like, it's his to give to me. Like, I don't know. They were weird.
Oh, I'll pick up anything in my bay, anything that's out in the kind of communal area of the shooting range. And then if somebody leaves, you know, there's stuff over in their bay, I'll kick it over my way. And then the sidewalls, there's a little gap that stuff gets stuffed back in there, so I'll reach back in there and pull out what I can. Anything that crosses the line, yeah, you know,
You
that
would
goes
not
for the range.
We need to get a brass goblin sticker at some point.
Well, when I take a friend to the range, I make them pick up the brass. Go get that over there.
No, what's better is you get a business card, and like on it you could say like, "Thanks for the brass, buddy," something like that, and then you leave
DM Foss, professional
somebody
brass
shoots
goblin.
like one magazine, boom, 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 right, and then they're like, take the magazine out, set it down, look around, and all there is this business card. Thanks for the brass, buddy.
Is that why I haven't seen a friend to the range video from you, Foss, lately? Because you make them pick up the brass?
No, there's a couple people that want to go. I just can't get them to go. I've got this. I can't.
I like shooting, but when I got in a fight with that old man because I took his brass, that was in a
I'm hoping to take one of the guys who I've done I think at least 2 videos with him. Get him out here in the next couple of weeks. Let him shoot the 30-06 and the shotgun and the 44 Magnum, some of the bigger stuff.
You absolutely should pick up that brass. Oh, I'm not going to go to the range because Foss makes me pick up the brass from the crux of the walls between the shooting lanes.
I'm going to hold your ankles, and then you won't be in front of the firing line because I'm not in front of the firing line.
And so I've used it. You know how most ranges will have like a little like squeegee or something, like so it
Yeah.
makes it easier to get all. I've reached that out onto the range and pulled it all towards me before. Not at the one where the guys are jerks about it. Another one that's less jerky.
You have to be a jerk and call the range cold and say, listen, you sons of bitches, the range is cold. I'm lifting the bench. I'm going down range and I'm getting my brass. Fuck y'all. You have to have an attitude at the range.
Oh, we got a question.
Are you guys familiar with the new Springfield Prodigy 2011-ish pistol? What do you think of it? $1,400 plus for a pistol that has issues. I've heard of it, haven't looked at it.
I'm not a fan of the company, so basically anything they make, I'm not interested in.
If they gave me $25,000, I would say that it's okay.
I mean, the pistol's all right because they get the top rail all the way to the forward of the whole top of the rifle. But if you go to their rifle length, ARs, fuck that, because they don't even bring the rail forward, so you can't even run night vision or anything on it. But the pistols are okay.
I don't like that they do weird shit and then just wait for people's attention to move on and then pay a bunch of new people to ignore all the stuff that they've done. I just don't take it.
So let me share a picture for anyone who might not know what we're talking about.
But for $25,000, I'll shut it.
This is the Springfield Prodigy.
I'd say shit like, "Wow, look at the trigger on that," and that squared off trigger guard is right above my.
I thought we were talking about ARs. Yes, all right.
Looks.
That's the.
I think it
double
looks
stack.
nice.
That's the double stack, 1911, not quite a 2011 with the crowned barrel. Yes,
Does it take Glock mags though?
You shove it in there hard enough. Looks good. I'm not paying $1,400 for it though.
No, never.
So, like in the 2011 market, that thing is very reasonable for what it offers.
Basically, that's just a
There.
gun for 3-gun people, right?
If you're into 2011s, you're starting at like 2,400. This thing starts at 14 to 1,600, so it's a bargain for what you get.
People that are like, "Oh, I could buy a motorcycle or a boat or an RV or a gun." Like, they don't know what guns cost, so they're looking at it. Oh, it's only $2,500. Well, then it's cheaper than an RV.
Yeah, I spent it was. I don't remember how much I paid for my HK, my P30. I know what, $800 somewhere around there. That's the most I paid for anything because I'm kind of cheap.
I hate to say anything good for a Springfield, but this thing is a home run. Double stack 1911 in 9mm. That starts at $1,400, which is $1,000 less than what you typically would start at in a competition pistol.
Where's capacity again?
Where's it made?
Where is it made?
Is it their South
17
American
plus one.
stuff, or is it Turkey?
Yeah.
I'm going to say something insane because I'm a big fan of 1911s. You can just buy an M9 and that holds 18 plus 1. And it's like $600. And it's got the RMR cut and a rail. And it doesn't have the safety issues that people hate, the grip safety, thumb safety.
The grip safety on this one, the Prodigy, has gaps in it. So if you fall in the dirt or whatever, you may experience malfunctions because of that.
$60 for a mag.
60.
Yeah, that's another one. M9 mags are way cheaper.
So you got the Bull and the what do you call it? What's the other one? Staccato. The Bull and the Staccato that have like very tight tolerances for the grip safety, where nothing's going to get in there. But this Springfield, compared to those other two, which this one's is directly targeting as far as marketing goes, you have pretty significant gaps on either side of that grip safety where debris can get into, which is probably one of the main points as to why it's much less expensive than those two. The tolerances and whatever are much more lenient. And it's
Speaking of Springfield Armory, thank you for that sticker, Foss.
Oh, yeah, I sent it to you because I ordered another one. So the Springfield Armory. Yeah.
I'm so tempted to put that on my M1, my Springfield M1.
And I don't think this camera has autofocus, so it's not going to focus in on it.
No, that's focusing. Looks good.
It's a couple of cocks with a stinking turd and a fly and a nutsack.
It's equally exchangeable from your head.
Yeah, it says Traitorous Dicks since 2017.
Yeah, Springfield, among a lot of other major gun companies, have violated us as a people, our constitutional rights, but I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers.
If you put me next to Smeggy, I'll give his dog one of these pieces of popcorn.
Oh yeah, he likes popcorn. I actually just made some the other day. We were watching a movie. I made some popcorn, and he was glued to me the whole time.
Oh no, this is super dry. There's no butter on this. What I do is I
There you
put
go. She's
oil
waiting.
into a blender and it turns it into like powdered salt. It's freaking great. You can just throw powdered salt all over and it gets into all the different popcorn areas. Awesome.
My grandma used to use it was a popcorn salt, and I don't know what brand it was, and have never found it. But
Did
it
it have
was,
butter in it right away?
what's that?
Was it one of those ones that had butter in it right away?
I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, it was little, but it was really good.
I think I've made a decision that my YouTube channel will be all French videos from now on.
Can videos.
Sure.
You want to do a giveaway? Should we do a giveaway?
Sure.
Let's make it look like it's not rigged. So let's make it look like it's all official.
Are you fluent in French, Baron?
I'm fluent in Google Translate.
Huh, huh, huh.
What should we use for a hashtag?
Hashtag not rigged.
Popcorn.
Hashtag giveaway.
All right, we'll go with
I think Scouts are selling popcorn right now. So if you know anybody that's got a kid that's in Scouts, they got popcorn for sale.
So we'll do a giveaway. Type hashtag popcorn out in the chat. Everybody's eligible. If you're on the panel, you can participate also.
Do you have a particular type of popcorn you prefer, or do you not eat popcorn?
I usually just do microwave popcorn. When I had my air popper, that was nice. But just regular old yellow popcorn.
Yeah, this is
I
my
like
air
the kind out of a tin.
I got a air popper for $8 one time because somebody had opened the box or something.
Oh, Jiffy Pop was the best.
Where it's metal and it has like that fry pan that explodes.
I never made Jiffy Pop where I didn't burn it. I never got the technique down.
You have to wiggle it.
I did.
Dude, you're like brute force. You have to have some finesse when you're dealing with Jiffy Pop.
It's pretty much just brute force. You buy like a bunch
You're
of them.
you're like all Smash Mouth, bro.
Close. He was close. I don't think that's the right one though.
Yeah, and that's Gizzard Gary. That's not us. But hashtag popcorn. And we'll send out some stickers. I'll send you one of the F-bomb stickers.
Fuck you, fuck me, fuck this,
This,
fuck
it.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
So if you're getting one of them buckets of popcorn and it's got 3 different kinds of popcorns in it, what popcorns are you getting? You know, like you can pick the whole menu. Which ones do you get? Which 3?
I get cheddar, white cheddar. Then I get like Sometimes they got blueberry, and then the caramel.
I just like a little butter, some salt. Cheddar is okay. I like caramel popcorn.
Yeah.
I don't like kettle corn.
You don't like kettle corn?
I do not like. I do
Did you
not
have a
care
bad
for kettle corn.
experience? Did you fall into one of those kettle corn buckets or something?
Oh man, kettle corn is legit.
I was like, why would I want to eat caramel corn made by somebody that's gross, like out in the air? I'm not eating that. And like for years, I'm walking past kettle corn, some kind of caramel corn snob. And then one day somebody ate one, and I'm like, oh, this isn't caramel corn. This is totally different.
Yeah, I usually get a tin around the holidays.
I've known people that get the various popcorns. Like we have a place in Tucson that I guess, they make it and they're all fancy. So I know a couple people that had subscriptions or they get them from people. And I've got nothing against eating fancy popcorn. It's usually pretty good. I like like the jalapenos and the fancy types like that.
Yum, jalapeno.
I think all types of popcorn are pretty good as long as you carry floss.
That's a good point. You got that one of the toothpick things, right?
Yeah, the only type of popcorn I don't like is burnt. Kind of hard to eat burnt.
What if we could put a mouth leech in there and just like a shark have a little mouth leech go in there and just pick all that stuff? We wouldn't have to waste all that time using a toothpick.
I have to say though, like the most enjoyable parts of a popcorn bag are the like half popped kernels that are extra crunchy.
There's half popped. They are half popped popcorn.
Yeah,
so they're all that way.
That's the good shit.
I like the ones that are just barely popped too.
There's a way of making popcorn where it's kind of like that. Like it doesn't pop open, I don't know if it's a different type of corn or if it's a different way of cooking it, but I've had stuff that's almost like corn, like, is it corn nuts? What was those like?
Oh God, yes, corn nuts. Gee, corn nuts are the best.
You have to have strong teeth, but I had pretty strong teeth when I was a kid. I used to eat the shit out of corn nuts.
That's like a Filipino thing.
Nuts. Shit.
I had some habanero corn
when
nuts.
you look at corn nuts, that's just somebody was making pig feed one day and was like, if we put barbecue on that, people would eat it. Because it's literally a feed pellet.
When I was in the Philippines, I lived on corn nuts and Tapsilog.
Oh, I got a question. The Rogue One fans in the panel, have you seen the new, what's it called, Andor?
Yeah, I just watched the third one. I didn't even know about it until Matt's show today.
No.
Yeah, there's a
It's
whole
supposed to be good
show. The one guy from Rogue One?
Yeah.
The guy who dies at the end on the beach with the chick?
Yeah.
It's about that guy being a baby, and then also right before that movie, somehow both. It's like a bunch of, I don't know, it's flashbacks or something, I think. But it's pretty good. It's as good as Boba Fett and Mandalorian and those shows. It's like filmed at Disneyland or whatever they're doing now.
I haven't seen any of those either.
They build some kind of set so they can make like pretty nice TV show series. Like,
oh yeah, they got a technology called the what's it called, the atmosphere or something like that. It's basically just like a sound stage with a gigantic TV around it, 360 degrees.
Yeah,
they can just paint anything on they want.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. Well, anyway, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's. I guess it's pretty good. It's a good description.
So we've got 6 entries so far, and 11 people watching.
Matt said that it was not canon, like not canon at all. Is that what he said?
We've got about 20 misentries.
I don't know if canon is the right word, but it has nothing to do with any of the movies, I guess. It's like a totally new Star Wars thing. All the stuff they're going to be doing is going to have nothing to do with like Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Darth Vader and anything.
They can ruin new characters. Yay.
Oh, and it's also not much about action. He said it's going to be more of like drama slash, or not drama, but I guess mystery slash. Well, I guess drama slash mystery, but not so much action.
Gotcha.
Plot line or something. So far, it still had. I mean, they're still running around in Star Wars land doing all the special effects, and there's robots and stuff. You know how there's got to be an R2D2. The R2D2 is sort of like the broken robot from the black hole back in the olden days. But it's like
Bob.
What?
Bob.
Was it Bob the broken one? I know that one
Yeah.
of them was beaten up and the other one was the other one. So
Vincent was the clean one, and Bob was the broken down one.
okay, yeah. So it's kind of like that guy reborn, except it's like R2D2 kind of also.
Well, it looks like we're only going to get 6 entries, so your odds are pretty good. Let me share their screen there.
I tried to watch the Clerks read. Anybody try watching that?
No.
The new Clerks? It's so weird. It's like it's the same. It's weird. I don't know. I couldn't watch much of it. So when I win this, we're gonna like it wasn't very good.
Cash EDC. Send me an email with your address, and I'll send you out some stickers and some patches and whatever else I got lying around. I'll throw in a box and send it to you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Maybe you'll get a bag of corn nuts.
I might do that.
Instead, whatever's lying around, TV remote, car keys, whatever. A couple of dead batteries.
LPVO.
No, that one will not go. I've given away an optic before. I gave away
I remember.
yeah. I don't remember what it was.
Was it a UTG?
No, it was something like a UTG, but it
Yeah.
wasn't UTG. But I think who was it that one? X Atom 1. I think X Atom 1 won that.
If anyone could use more gun and gun accessories, it's X Atom 1.
But
Do you think it's sitting like in a box somewhere, or is it actually on a gun?
he probably played with it and then put it in the box and put it away. Let me do this right chair. Can you drop a link for that real quick? Get gearwebsites.com for all your 2A related
Thanks for that.
stickers, patches, t-shirts, playing cards, and other stuff that I don't recall right at the moment.
Got a bunch of 3D printed stuff on there right now. 3D printing all kinds of stuff now that it's getting nice out again.
And I got your email with your address, Cash.
Hey, G-Webs, do you have those bayonets up on there, or are you still prototyping them?
No, they're up there. I sent a bunch out to Patreons and channel members, and then all the rest of them are up there right now. More now.
I got one. I got a few. They're pretty
You got
sweet.
the first ones, probably.
Yeah, that was really fun being there when you were making the first one and playing around with that software and stuff. and then printing it off air. You people that don't know, the cool kids get to hang out on the off air chats after the Daily Gun Show.
Dude, and
All sorts
then
of craziness happens.
I don't know if you're paying attention, but then whatever that was, whatever day that was, let's say Sunday or something, I started, and then, or I don't know, maybe it was last week, but whatever. I started doing one and I figured out the process, and then I did the next one. It took like an hour. So I'm like, okay, it's going to take an hour. And then I was like sneaking away an hour here and there to do them. And then by Tuesday or something, I was figuring out they were taking more like 2 hours. But then I also realized that the software was expiring and that they weren't, like I kept renewing it, but kept saying it was expiring and not accepting my renewal. And then I paid attention and that they don't do the same renewal anymore. So I don't have that software. So I wasn't going to have that software after whatever day that was, like Wednesday night. So I was like, shit, I got to hurry up and do all the rest of these designs. Otherwise, I won't have them in this software. And I'm glad I did, because the stuff that Night Strike using is free, but you get what you pay for. It is not the same software. And then the other stuff that's free, I don't know what it does, but I have not figured out how to use it either. So anyhow, so I happened to just decide, you know what, I'm going to try doing that one night that you were in there, I think. And then, like I say, just luckily it was days before that software expired. So I was able to, I think I did 6 designs before the software expired.
Let me do one more just because I'm going to make fun of him later when I clip a part of this episode. GunTube.org is a video hosting website with a streaming feature. Created by Night Strike One, a man with a dream to protect the rights to share gun-related content, GunTube.org is free to use.
Hey everyone, GunTube, you should go check it out.
If you are frustrated by the limitations imposed by other video sharing sites, check out GunTube.org.
Go ahead, go over to the GunTube. Shut up, you infringe!
GunTube.org is nice because you can show stuff, the gun stuff that you can't show on YouTube. You can build a rifle and show how to build a rifle, and they won't pull it down. And then
That commercial was just perfect. I don't think I've ever seen that commercial before.
I don't know if I've played it.
You've played it.
It's got all of the Night Strike highlights, like his super apathetic tone. Go check out GunTube.org, and then the shall not be infringed in front of the flag, and yeah, that's so Night Strike.
You should check out GunTube.
I guess if you want or whatever, like go to this thing that's like super awesome. I mean, yeah, whatever. I guess.
So Smeggy, is there anything you want to plug?
Not really. You
All
just did
right.
do the websites. I was going to plug that when you mentioned the software. Go over and buy stuff from your website so that maybe you can get enough money to buy the license for the good software and not have to use the crappy free version.
Oh, if we're closing the show down, then let's talk about, if you don't mind talking a minute, about the patch buyback. There's too many patches on the streets. It's time for a patch buyback.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched the video. I saw you did a video. What is that?
Well, maybe you don't know this, but you can just buy, children could just buy a Velcro PVC patch the same as the military has. You can just buy that off the internet and have as many as you wanted with no limitations. So there's military patches out there. There's law enforcement patches out there, right? Mil-spec patches out there. And then there's all kinds of vulgar patches that we won't mention who makes the vulgar patches, but we all know. And then, there's all these patches out there. They don't need to be that many patches. Nobody needs that many patches. So we were having an off-air conversation, and we came up with an idea of having not necessarily a patch buyback. I guess technically that's not accurate because nobody's buying nothing. It's more like a patch donation. But there's a lot of people that have a big pile of extra patches laying around or duplicates or whatever. Let's say that they won one of your giveaways and they ended up getting a duplicate patch. They didn't intend, but now what are they going to do with it, right? So what we're going to think about doing is coming up with some sort of a system, so to speak, where people could take those extras and duplicates and whatever and have them sent to or distributed to youngins, kids that want patches but don't have the money to buy them. And then to get, just people interested, not necessarily to create new patch addicts. I know a lot of people are suggesting that's the whole thing. It's not necessary. That might happen, but what we're really trying to do is just redistribute the joy of patches to the next generation.
So
That's just their issue.
I put a link to your video on it out in the side chat so people can check it out.
So it's not a actually foreign thing yet. Kind of set up the first one this week. I'll do another one next week, and then hopefully pass the baton on to somebody who can actually facilitate it if it's something that people want to do. But really, it was just we had a conversation, and there's a couple of kids out there that have that like patches, so they put them in the and what do they call it? Like in your catalog? No, in your shopping cart. On the stores. Because a lot of stores, a lot of websites will let you put stuff in a shopping cart and it'll just stay there as long as you don't clear your cookies or whatever. And then, the kids will save up or do something, get a good credit card, get a good report card. And, however the parents want to do it. And they use patches as a, reward or something. So the idea is that maybe come up with something to do something anyway. I guess we came up with the idea. We'll kind of vet it out. I don't know what the word is. Come up with the details together or not. It's not like it needs to happen, but I figure, put a couple of shows up there to let it get the opportunity to happen.
Oh, cool. Pacifist, are you awake?
Yeah, I'm up.
All right.
Barely. I'm up.
Anything you want to plug?
I want to plug the sovereignty of the United States of America. Our borders need to be secured. And if you want to come into this country is founded on immigration, but you have to do it legally, not illegally. And if you come into this country illegally, you should be deported ASAP. Thank you for the invite, Foss. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Baron.
Hello. I am your number one French 2A channel at the moment. Yeah, come check it out. It's boring as hell.
More of what?
Exactly.
That channel's woke.
So, just like to say, appreciate everybody that we're hanging out in the live chat tonight. And those who are watching but didn't comment, appreciate you too.
Is this the most active live chat you've had in an overnight ever?
It was pretty. It's pretty active. Yeah,
it's up there.
Good. And then those who watch this in replay, appreciate you too. And Cash, I'll get your stuff sent out beginning of next week. Once I get your pile together and stuffed into a box, I'll get her out in the mail. Hey, I'll ask you while I'm thinking about it. I'm going to send it U.S. mail. Do you want it to be signature required, or is it okay if they just leave it at your doorstep?
That's a good question.
So now I got to wait for an answer. No signature.
What is Amazon going to do when the robots just drop you stuff from the air?
I don't think they care. Once you've paid for it, they throw it at you. It's up to you to catch it. But so if anyone's up about 4.5 hours from now, Gizzard Gary's doing his Sunday morning chat. It's an open lobby, and they just talk about whatever they feel like talking about. It's usually pretty fun morning chat if you're up. And G-Webs, you have a chat tomorrow also.
I have two. I'm setting up the conversation with the Kalashnikov builder in Vegas that puts together a bunch of the guns that get blown apart. Well, not blown apart, but worn out from the rental places in Vegas. So he's got all kinds of experience putting together, guns that have been worn out, which is kind of a unique experience for AKs, but then also just a builder that enjoys putting them together. He does kind of a modern thing, but anyway, M13 Industries is the name of that guy. And we'll be chatting in the evening. But then at noon, I do the Instagram wrap up.
And then there's a bunch of other chats going on, which I don't remember. So lots of gun content if that's what you're into. Other than that, let me. Oh, hey. There we go. Sorry, I got to find my outro, which I need to redo with the newer logo. But once again, thanks everybody for hanging out and chatting. It makes it fun. And I hope everybody has good morning, I guess, now.
You still here? It's over. Go home.